Hi everyone. This is another class of cybersecurity for risk management topic. So here we are going to learn about complete risk management concepts, how a company or MNC is going to implement their risk management strategies, and what are the things they are going to cover in this complete domain. And again, I want to say this, like why we are coming to risk management topic as a major thing means this is the major role in cybersecurity, in which all other domains are going to be connected in the same point. So this is going to be a leadership team kind of in cybersecurity. So all other teams are running under this team. So what are the issues they are identifying? What are the bugs they are going to detect? Everything will be treated under risk management domain. Okay. So starting this risk management. So first, a risk management is nothing but a approach. It is kind of an approach to detect the threats and identify the threats and prioritize the threats. So whenever a threat is identified by any other teams, any other ground level teams of a cybersecurity, so what risk management team will be doing is they'll be collecting all the risks which they have identified it, and then they will be prioritizing it based on the severities: critical, high, medium, whatever it is. They will be prioritizing it based on the severities and also the need of business impacts, so which is going to be a huge business impact in real time. So those things will also be prioritized based on the severities too. Okay. So, and next thing, what are the things we are going to see in risk management is nothing but simple: identifying a complete strategy, or identifying a risk of complete platform which we are going to assess and analyze those assets, and then evaluate the risk which we have identified, and then we are going to address the threat by resolving it. So from first I will tell again. So we'll be identifying it and analyzing it and also evaluate it, what is the perfect solution for it, and we'll be address the risk by giving a proper fix for it. So these are the four different things we'll be seeing in this complete risk management. And due to risk management, exactly what is going to happen, organization or MNC, whatever it is, you can take it. Even a core companies also are using IT infrastructures nowadays. So everything runs under a flaw. Definitely risk is not a zero. Okay, so it is running under a flaw means a vulnerability. So that vulnerability need to be fixed. So simply we can't able to fix something and go ahead to the next step. So it needs a proper procedure. That procedure is going to be provided by risk management domain. Okay, so here we are going to see, organization is going to get helped by critical flaws and the trend attacks. What are the current attacks happening in the markets? So these are the strategies we'll be learning about in risk management. Okay. So next thing, the stages in risk management. There are four different stages, as I said. First is identifying it. Identification of a risk. What is going to be the stages? Example, we can take a platform. Okay, there is a laptop or there is a server. Okay, in that server we are going to fix something, like there are vulnerabilities, we have identified it. So those vulnerabilities are identified based on the policies and procedures which is already implemented in the organization. So in that organization there will be a policy which they need to follow. There should be a procedure which they need to follow. If something goes beyond that, which is not following the policy and structures, then that is going to be identified as a risk in this stage. So that is called identification stage. Okay. Next stage is assess stage, or else called as assessment stage. So this stage is going to be a real-time technical stage, which is going to be used with many tools like Qualys, SAST. So there are a few many tools available in market. Major tool is going to be Qualys, Nmap, and all. So through these tools, they'll be scanning the entire network or entire platform, and those tools will provide us a proper list of vulnerabilities which is available in that complete platform. Okay, and then risk treatment. Risk treatment is, once now we have identified the risk, what are these in these two stages, we have identified few risks. Okay, so that risk need to be treated. That risk need to be treated in a proper way, so that we have few different mitigation stages available, which we will be seeing in next slides. So those stages will be useful to treat a risk. We need to treat a risk in a proper manner, and once the treatment is done, we need to control that procedure. So if there is a fix is provided, we need to follow up with that procedure, whether it is perfectly running successfully or not, or else is there any other flaw raising because of it, whether it is really 100% result or not. So those things we need to know under this review control. We need to review the controls, what and all we have fixed it. Okay. So next thing, the process involved in risk management, that's what we saw now. This is going to be a identification part and assessment part and the control part and risk review part. So these 4 different stages are going to be the major part in risk management, and this is the procedure we are going to see in the complete syllabus. Okay. So risk identification. So first stage, as I said, what is risk identification? It is going to be a identification of platform vulnerabilities or complete network vulnerabilities by which the policies are implemented. So there are 2 major policies in all over the world, which all the organizations are coming under. One is going to be NIST framework and another is going to be ISO. Okay, NIST framework is nothing but a cybersecurity framework. It is nothing called as a National Institute of Standards and Technology. So this is a complete NIST framework available in the market, which is going to have a few stages. What and all need to be covered by an organization to make sure they are properly running their cybersecurity model or not. So all the companies are following this NIST framework, and once they are coming at a NIST framework, they'll be automatically following the ISO standards too. Because ISO is also coming under a proper structure of NIST, it is going to be 95% more or less same like NIST. So ISO is also a major cost to make sure their organization is standardized. They are a complete standardized organization. So if something is going beyond this NIST framework or ISO, okay, then that is going to be identified as a risk in risk identification stage. So there will be manual procedures happening in this stage, and once the risk is identified, they'll be noting it down in the risk registers. So and so risk has been identified and we need to provide a solution for it. So that is going to be a risk identification phase. Next is going to be a risk assessment phase. Okay, so here risk assessment phase is nothing but, as I said, it is going to be a tool-based assessment, technical assessments. So technical assessments are nothing but we can take tools like Qualys, Nmap, as I said before. So these tools, definitely it is going to be a helpful tool for identifying the vulnerabilities. We can take an example of a server. Okay, that server is going to be scanned under Nmap or Qualys tools. Okay, so that tool is going to provide us a proper result of what are the vulnerabilities available in the tool. Okay, based on that vulnerabilities, now in next stage of risk treatment is going to happen. So these are the vulnerabilities we have identified. Now we need to provide a solution for that. Okay, so those solutions will be provided by risk treatment phase. Okay, here comes a risk treatment phase. This phase is going to be a process of implementing their solutions. Like simply all issues cannot be remediated. Okay, if everything can be remediated, then risk will be 0. So it is not possible to remediate all the risk. We have few more steps to remediate or treat the risks. Okay, so those steps are called avoiding a risk, optimizing a risk, transferring a risk, or retaining a risk. Okay, so these are few different measures we'll be following in risk treatments in detail. It is also called as risk remediation process, risk avoidance, risk transfer, and risk acceptance. Okay, first thing, risk remediation. Risk remediation is going to be, there is a risk which we have identified it. That risk need to be remediated now. That need to be fixed, resolved now. So that resolved, I mean, when you are going to resolve a risk and provide it as a perfect solution and running it under the same platform, that procedure will come under risk remediation. And risk avoidance. Risk avoidance is nothing but avoiding a risk. So if there is no risk in a platform, right, then that is going to be risk avoidance procedure. How it is going to happen? We need to think once or twice. Really, risk is needed in their MNC or organization or corporate office, whatever it is really required or not. We can take an example. There is Google Chrome and Microsoft Edge. Both are browsing tools. Okay. So now there is a bug we have identified in Microsoft Edge. Now we need to think it like whether we need to remediate it or else we can give a alternate solution like don't use the Microsoft Edge, please go ahead and use for Google Chrome. If that is going to happen, then we are going to uninstall Microsoft Edge there. Okay. So this procedure is called risk avoidance. Now the risk we have identified in Microsoft Edge completely got zero because it has been avoided. We need to identify an alternate solution for it. So that is called risk avoidance. Risk transfer. Risk transfer is nothing but we have insurance for bike, car, life insurance. So whatever health insurance, many insurance are there, right? Like that for cyber security also, there is a risk insurance. Okay. There are a lot of companies providing insurance for cyber attacks. Okay. So that insurance can be provided for the risk which you identified. Why we are going to fix a risk? If something got I mean attacked or someone get into our network, there is going to be huge loss for us. So to compensate that loss only, we are fixing those issues. Okay. So instead of that, we can get an insurance and transfer the risk to the insurance companies. If something happens, they're going to pay us back. Okay. And last point is going to be a risk acceptance. If nothing, these 3 points are not going to be in a play, we are going to directly get into a risk acceptance procedure. Okay. Risk acceptance procedure is nothing but there is a risk and it cannot be remediated. There is no solution for it and it cannot be avoided because business is in need of it. And transfer of risk is also possible based on the insurance company policies. Then finally, we are going to do as the risk acceptance procedure. Both the parties will be accepting the risk. And they said if something goes up, get compromised, then we both need to get compensated with the loss of it. So that is called risk acceptance procedure. Okay. So hope this 4 points are clear. Risk remediation, risk avoidance, risk transfer, and risk acceptance. Okay. Coming to our last point is review controls. Reviewing controls, as I said before, it is nothing but reviewing the fixes which we have provided. So far, we have treated the risk clearly, right? So those risks need to be fixed properly. As I said, we are going to remove Microsoft Edge for a particular solution. And in a time period, after 1 month or after 45 days, after 60 days, like that, there should be checkpoint review to make sure without that particular platform is running properly or not. This is kind of a review to make sure their mitigation is 100% correct or not. Or else business is going to be impacted there, right? So we need to make sure business is not impacted. So review control is there. This review control is going to provide a proper solution and proper review of the fixes which we have provided for the vulnerabilities we identified so far. Okay. So till now, we have seen like 4 different stages. One is risk identification, risk assessment, risk treatment, and review and control. Okay. So first thing is going to be risk identification. In that, we are going to identify the risk based on the policies and procedures. And next thing is going to be risk assessment. In risk assessment, we are going to identify the vulnerabilities based on the tool scanning tricks. And once the issues are identified, in risk treatment phase, we are going to provide a fix for our risk which you have identified. The risk can be treated in 4 different ways. One is going to be risk remediation, risk transfer, risk avoidance, and risk acceptance. So these 4 procedures are there. One is risk has been provide a solution with these 4 procedures. Finally, it is going to be review control. There is a review checkpoint for all those risks which has been remediated so far. And if something goes wrong, definitely this review is going to be alerting all the stakeholders and make sure alternate solution is provided for that. So this is the complete risk management, a makeover, like an overall procedure of it. In detail, there are too much of concepts inside this, and which is really important to get into a cybersecurity domain. Since risk management is going to be a huge domain coming under all the portfolios, it is a major thing to know in day-to-day life in cybersecurity domain. Okay, so hope you are clear about it. We'll see in next session with a great topic or as a continuation of a risk management. Thank you.